you can actually listen to this podcast because we're going to be talking about a few things that ensure that we never feel depressed. First 7-8 years when he was playing for Chicago Bulls, he was such an amazing player, but they kept losing. They used to call them the losers, and from that loser he became a winner.
Find happiness in things you already have, or things which you're already doing, or things which you plan to do. If you wanted to do something, you wanted to create something, you wanted to work on something, learn something, just do it. There are better use of your time than just feeling depressed about a failed relationship.
And then I realized if I can't fix something, just do not keep thinking about it. People will keep throwing garbage. You do what you can do. You control only what you can control, and you can teach people. But if you're gonna get angry with people and expect people to change it, if you nicely tell them, they might change it that time, but they won't change it. So you choose your battles, and you can't win everything. And just be an asshole, because I am an asshole. Like I'm a full-time asshole. But you can be a part-time asshole. You can be a casual asshole. You can be sometime asshole. But it's good to be an asshole. Let it out. Don't bottle up, because the more you bottle up, because I definitely believe that one of the reasons I don't feel shitty is because I just let it out.
Say that exercise programs produce a moderate clinical improvement in depression, which is comparable to antidepressant medicines, and a public health dose of exercise of 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise per week is actually recommended by doctors.
But what if you are the negative people? You are yourself the negative person. Then dude, you just have to fix yourself slowly and gradually. Understand why all these negative things are happening, and trust me, all those negative things are happening because the first 16 points, some of them are missing completely, which we talked about. Alright, hi everyone. We're going to talk about specifically about depression, and particularly 17 steps that actually can fix the depression of all kinds, apart from one of them, which we'll talk about later. Now, and also if you end up liking what we did, what you heard, what you saw, then might as well go and like and subscribe our podcast. We'll give you more and more good stuff with a lot of humor, with a lot of our personality. Alright, carrying on. Now I want to start with one big question, which will completely make me sound like a complete asshole. But I think everybody who knows me, doesn't know me, knows me a little bit, they probably already feel like this guy is an asshole. So what the heck? I'm going to ask it. Okay, now it's a bit of a rhetorical question. I'm saying that in 2020, are people more brave right now that they're talking about their mental issues, mental health issues, than probably say 20 years ago? Or the generation, as you call right now, the millennials, or the newest one, which is Generation Z, probably are just weaker than the generation which came before us. Before maybe our parents, maybe our grandparents. I personally feel that we can't take shit anymore. I just feel like we just can't tackle failure as good as other people used to tackle before. And we just feel so narcissistic. I feel like people have become so narcissistic that everything they feel is happening. The world is happening for them. The earth is built for them. The universe is built for them. Everything is just built to fulfill their whims and wishes, desires, dreams. But I don't think it's that way. It's just not that way. In my mind, I have absolutely no fucking doubt that we just break down too easily. We can't even take up a fucking breakup. Oh, my girlfriend left me. Who is going to make me breakfast? Who is going to tuck me in the bed? My boyfriend left me. Who is going to make me babies now? Who is going to pay for my chocolates? I completely forgot what I was going to say because I've never spoken like that. And I feel like we can't take any rejection. Rejection from a job interview, rejection from entering some place, rejection from a university in the United States that we really like. Oh, that university did not take me. Things like that happen all the time. You can't crack all the universities. You can only go to one university. You can only take one job, right? You can't take everything. So, I mean, think about people. Because that people can't live one single day without a fucking smartphone. They feel like they're panicking, like the whole limb is missing from themselves. People can't even live 1 hour without fucking Wi-Fi. People are like, whoa, no Wi-Fi, what is happening to my life? I have to now do something else. What will happen? I need to go to Mars. Elon Musk, please fix this problem for us very quickly. So, just the trouble is that we become such people that we don't also like to be called that we are weak. We want people to say that if we have any weakness, if people have depression or anything, they always want to push it on somebody else. People are like, oh, it's the circumstances, oh, it's the other people, it's the Yash Raj films. So it's like people just try to like blame everybody for everything that they want to do, but except blaming themselves. That there are certain problems. I'm not saying right now that you're depressed is your problem. I'm saying that if you're not doing things right and you're getting depressed because you don't work out, we'll be talking about all those things. Do certain things which is 17 points, and then you're not doing any of that properly, not taking care of yourself in any aspect of your life, and then you still want to blame everybody else but not take any blame yourself. Clean slate, I'm the cool person, but everything depression is because genetics are there, circumstances, Yashaj films. So no, sometimes you have to accept the blame as well. Now, directly coming on a different tangent, have you ever tried to kill yourself, Bikram? Ever?
No, I haven't.
That's just strange, man. Because well, kind of not strange, because I've also not tried to kill myself. I remember I was once very feeling very low, and I was in Melbourne. I was just and there's a river there, Yarra River, and I just walked next to it, and there's no fencing there, and I was like, this is how people feel like when they feel very sad or something. They like go to a river and they jump in it. At the moment I like neared the end where it was like you can actually jump, and I can't swim, I just started laughing, like literally fucking laughing, and I was like, fuck, my entire mood changed, and I felt like, definitely I'm not jumping, man. This is just stupid. And I realized, and that I'm just using it as an analogy. But every time I'm like standing somewhere like a 14th floor building, 20th floor, I was like, dude, there's no fucking way I'm ever gonna jump or kill myself. That just doesn't make any sense. Think about my mother. My mother's like, oh, I tell my mother, I'm joking, always joking with my mother. It's like, mother, now you're so old now. You should decide your bucket list, and you'll be dying soon, right? She's like, I'm only 65. I will live 135 years or something like that. She's like, I was like, dude, Jesus Christ. She always keeps saying stuff like that. I was like, okay, fair enough. That's just the way it is. And have you ever been depressed?
I have been depressed, but not to an extent where I tried or I wanted to kill myself. I had some crazy thoughts like running away, or this was in college. So if I'll just quickly take 2 minutes and tell you what happened. And this was, I really messed up something in the college, and I don't want to go into the details. Mm-hmm. And I was in deep trouble. And I came to and this was in engineering college third year, so very far out into the course. And I came to my hometown, and I didn't have the courage to tell my parents what has happened. And I was feeling so low, and I had this thought that I should run away, or maybe just quit college and not tell my parents at all, or do something drastic. But then somehow I found courage to write a letter to my parents, even though I was there in the same house, but I didn't have the courage to face them. Nice. Yeah, so I wrote a letter. I told everything, what has happened, how I'm feeling, and how I plan to fix it, because I was already thinking of how to fix it. So I just needed a bit of support from somewhere, and it worked. They understood my problem, and they supported me. They got a bit mad, which is very normal, natural. But in the end, they supported me. They told me that, okay, go ahead, whatever you want to do, we are fully behind you. Even if something goes wrong, we'll take care of it. So that eventually I only had to fix it, but you needed some kind of support. So that was the only point in my life of 35 years where I really felt that I was depressed.
That's amazing, because you know how the times have changed, right? Because right now people are in the same house. Forget about letters. They're calling each other in the same house. Okay. They call on the cell phones. Yeah. It's like, Dad, where are you? It's like, I'm in the living room. It's like, where's mom? She's in the kitchen. Can you ask her? Call her. Why didn't you call her? She has cell phone. Everybody has cell phone. So times have changed, right? And why do you think that right now, obviously you're not depressed right now, right? So as a protocol, we're asking everybody, is they depressed or not? So is there some specific factors they want to say that ensures that you're not depressed right now? Like, because you don't say you have ma, kyunki mere paas ma hai. Do not say that. Apart from that.
No, I think a lot of people who know me would know that if they speak to me after 6 months, I'm doing something new. And this has been my thing. That I always try to find something to do, something to learn. I have taken courses on music. I have taken courses on filmmaking and everything. I mean, there are courses available on the internet, right? So, and even with that learning, if I do something new, if I learn something, that gives me that small amount of happiness, that warmth, feeling of warmth inside my soul. So that keeps me always happy, and people say that you always keep smiling, because I never feel, even if something bad happens, I feel bad for a moment, but that moment never lingers for a longer period, because I have so many things to fall back on. There is this podcast, there is the other, the other startup which I am doing, gaming, anything. So there are so many things to do in this world. I don't know how people get depressed.
Fair enough. It's because I asked somebody else, so like they were also married like you. I said like, and then another person I asked that, who has a girlfriend for a long time, and I think 3 people I asked them. I was like, and one girl who had a boyfriend. So I said like, what if I take your wife and your girlfriend and your boyfriend? Would that make you unhappy? Weirdly enough, all 3 of them actually took some time to answer, and they were like, I'm not sure. It might just make me happier. Which is weird. So I'm not going to ask you this question because I know your wife pretty much watches everything that you're doing. I don't want to get in trouble because you're in the same house, plus all the COVID situation. You can't run away. You can't run away right now and I don't want to be blamed for you running away. I don't know what kind of running away you'll be doing. Is it like the Forrest Gump running away, where you keep running, and you say your T-shirt says shit happens, and you keep running, like never ends. Do you know anybody right now that who actually has been depressed, a friend, known person, or who still feels depression at times? I mean,
yeah, I know few people who still feel depressed about things. I mean, they get depressed time to time, and but I don't know anyone, I think, who is. I mean, it's very hard right now, right? You can't say how much the amount of depression anyone is going through. Something which happened with Sushant Singh. And but yeah, I mean, I don't think I know anyone who is in major depression.
well, yeah, because you said his name, so shout out to Sushant Singh Rajput, wherever he is, because we never really know it's purgatory, it's hell, heaven, or there's a lot of other things that's happening, because Elon Musk might be building certain things that people going there as well after passing, right? Some people might find this comment facetious. Also, people might not understand what the word facetious means, so I think I'm pretty much good right here. Now, also it's very difficult to pronounce, so when they put in Google, something else will come out. So, have you ever known a person who's actually tried to kill themselves?
No, I don't. No, I haven't.
Okay, that includes yourself, right? Because you already said you didn't try to kill
already
yourself. I'm just
said,
trying to now the new protocol is double check everything. Then make people
double
like
tap.
they're like, everybody's asking me, have you tried to kill yourself? Now I'm just trying to kill myself because everybody's asking me, just to make people happy. All right, I think I have. I'm not going to go into any more discussion on that. Let's keep it that. Now, full disclosure, I've never personally been depressed. I feel low. Like, I think people feel low all the time. There's a difference between feeling low and feeling depressed. Low is like, Manchester United loses or something. Yesterday, I was watching the match. I told you I'm not going to stay up, but some adrenaline kicked in, and I watched half, and we were 1-0 down, and I was like, fuck this thing. I'm just falling asleep. I woke up. First thing, I was like, press the button, and I was like, 1-1. I was like, thank God, we didn't lose at least. So it was okay, but I was like, fucking another De Gea error, and it was just fucking nightmare shit, man. Bad everything. Anyway, that's a different topic altogether. My point is, I've never been depressed. But it's not because I've been genetically lucky or no shit ever happens to me in my life. Dude, United has not won in 7 years. Now I think I'm going to be stuck to United. Has not won in 7 years. And I can tell you, Bikram, the one thing which has depressed me so most in the last 7 years is United constantly losing matches. Trust me, I don't give a shit about anything else. There are really bad shit have happened to me. I can't find publishers, so I've written 3 books. I've written 134 articles. You're with me completely with this thing. We're doing podcasts. It is taking time, but we constantly keep working so hard. The results, the stuff doesn't happen immediately. It takes so much time, and we're like, but that doesn't upset me because I like doing it. But United, every time they lose and every time they fuck up, it just fucking makes me feel like, I want to pull out my hair. So my point is that why I'm not depressed, why Bikram right now is not depressed, we'll be discussing in tandem, that there are certain things that we do very consciously and it takes effort. First of all, I'll tell you, it takes effort, it's conscious. So if you're ready with us right now to not blame generics, not blame other people, Yash Films, and sorry for Yash Films. So if you had a contract, so you don't want to blame right now generics, other people, Yash Films or circumstances, then you can actually listen to this podcast because we're going to be talking about a few things that ensure that we never feel depressed. I mean, never is never, but yeah, mostly I never really feel depressed. So first thing is I feel like if my happiness is contingent or reliant on other people. It could be my girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, brother, mother, sister, dog, snake. Some people like snakes. So trees, some people hug trees. There are pictures of me hugging trees. So if that's reliant on that, shit can happen. People are like, oh, tree is always going to be there. Well, a lot of trees got uprooted in Andhra. So after all this freaking cyclone shit that happened, that thing happened. So I feel like when your happiness is from within, you're just a bit more independent, because other people, you don't know, they'll do things. I don't know. I think you had something to say on this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, as you said that we shouldn't depend. I mean, I gave an example of my parents that they understood me and they supported me. But let's take an example that what if they didn't like what they read in the letter, and they made the situation even worse. What would have happened? So it is always prudent to find whatever happiness you can find in yourself and not be dependent on anyone. And I think there are a lot of things. I think again, I don't want to repeat whatever we said.
I think we're gonna get into it. I think the next step is like, we have to, as I was saying, ranting earlier, which was a bit all over the place, but learn to accept failure, because failure is part of life. It's failure. It's the whole word failure. I hate it, because when I was growing up, people used to call people, like some people, remember the word exact failure? If somebody has failed in class, like class 7, class 8, class 3, class 4, it's like, ye to failure hai, ye failure hai, ye failure hai, ye fail. What the fuck? The whole word failure felt like, it's like the worst word I ever heard. I think in India now, I'm thinking like, when I was growing up, this was the worst word. Failure. Like the worst word is failure. And I'm like, failure is part of life. You should accept it. I mean, I just finished watching Michael Jordan's Last Dance documentary. Shout out to that. You watch it. Guys failed so much. And then eventually from that failure, he rose. And he understood what that means. And from that, he rose. People always think about like double three-peats. But people don't think the first 7-8 years when he was playing for Chicago Bulls, he was such an amazing player, but they kept losing. They used to call them the losers. And from that loser, he became a winner. A lot of stories, J.K. Rowling, everybody else. So I'm saying, if you fail something, because once you fall down, you can only move up. I've had tons of failures in my life. I was about to get married. My about-to-be wife decided, okay, I don't want to do this. What do you do? Like, you just kill yourself, or what? You just feel like, okay, I cry your heart out, get on with it, write a book about it. So do something positive, because I feel something positive can come out of every fucking failure. Then the third point is, which is similar to external validation, and I'm going to extend it to everybody else. When you go to office, people are constantly looking for other people to say good things about them. Fuck them. Because even if they're telling you you're good, they're not telling you because they like you. They're just telling you because they've read some fucking management book which says, always tell your employees they're good. Be nice to them. Be kind. So they can actually get you promoted. They do the job right, you will get promoted. This is exactly what it happens. So don't worry about them. Do your job well and know that you're doing your job well. Your happiness, external means money, anything else. If you're relying on other people's validation, it may come or may not come, because you might be super good, but you don't have the nepotism. The nepotism is not there. Your books don't get published. Your movies don't get released. It's okay. That's why you have to do something that you actually like in the first place. Do you have something to add or move on?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very cliched saying that failure is a stepping stone of success, and I think you gave an example of Michael Jordan, and a lot of people, including myself, I have not watched the documentary yet, and I think a lot of people would have not watched it. So I can give an example of Virat Kohli. He had a horrible season at England. I think I don't remember the year, but everyone knows about it. Whoever is a cricket
2013.
fan. 2013, yeah, and. I think he came out of it, became stronger, and he said in one of his interviews that torrid tour taught him much more about cricket, about his game, than he ever did in his entire life. And that holds true for everyone. If you don't fall, you won't know how to get up. So I mean, this has happened to me a lot of times in projects. If something went on smoothly, I never learned a lot of from it. So yeah, I mean, that's what same thing I would reiterate.
Yeah. Other thing I want to talk about is forgive yourself, and that's an extension again of the failure. What happens? We just hold on to ourselves. Sometimes, one of the biggest problems we've had is like, we don't forgive other people. And then you
Yeah.
realize that you also don't forgive yourself a lot of times, because you're like, no, I did this. I'm like, you keep thinking about something. It's like, it's okay. You can fuck up. You can fuck up when you're 8 months old. You can fuck up when you're 8 years old. You can fuck up when you're 80 years old. People always fuck up. It's about realization that you screwed up, and you try to not do that again next time, and try to be a
Yeah.
better person, right? You fuck up once, fuck up twice, don't fuck up all the time, right? Then you just become Homer Simpson. And yeah, so just try to be better. What I don't know how many fuck ups I've done. I keep fucking up. Like, even before starting this podcast, I must have fucked up a few things, because I have so much gadgets right now, and I'm like, I'm not understanding what is happening. I'll find out later on that the freaking recording is not on. I won't be surprised. It's on. I just checked. So I mean, like, it won't be surprised, because
That's
fuck
why
up
we
has
have
happened all the
multiple
time.
backups.
Yeah, we have like a lot of backups now. I have like gadgets everywhere. And next thing, and from that I want to also move on, that don't hold grudges against people. And from that I mean is that sometimes people do things to you which they don't probably mean. Sometimes they just mean. Sometimes they're assholes. When you hold grudges against people, this is something I read somewhere as well, and I was trying to think about it long time ago, and it's so true. Maybe some fucking yoga guy wrote it, or some fucking all those yogi people. But it says, when I'm thinking bad about somebody else, I'm not hurting that person. I'm hurting myself. I'm poisoning myself, which is actually true. When I'm like, oh, that person kicked me out of some Facebook account or something else, or deleted my number, or whatever that happened, and I'm like, that person doesn't even care about me, and now I'm actually worrying about somebody who actually did that to me. I'm just like, and plus there could be a different perspective also. You got to think about something. Maybe that person is hurt. Maybe that's why that person did it. Don't try to make sure that you don't hold grudges against somebody. If when I get angry with somebody, best thing is I just fucking get angry at them, and I just forget about it. And if I don't get angry with them, then I just keep holding on to it. So I just try to say, even with you, Vikram, like, we are just mostly genial. We're always very cordial and everything, but if I feel angry, I just say it, and the next time I was like, okay, fine. It's not personal, and that's the way people should be. People should be able to say things and don't hold grudges, and
Yeah.
because people will let you down, because you yourself let yourself down all the time. It's perfectly fine, and it just happened, and I've learned to just not feel bad about people, because people disappoint me all the time. And whenever
Yeah.
you meet people, now we meet people online, we have so much conversation with people, and people do such stuff, and I just feel like, fuck this, man. It's perfectly, but I mean, like, it's okay. I mean, particularly the ones I care for. If I care for somebody, I feel like, okay, don't worry about it. If I don't care for somebody, I don't even know. I met somebody on fucking Twitter, and I'm gonna have a brawl with them. Like, I just put a couple of comments on the podcast, football podcast on ESPN on YouTube, and then people start commenting on that. I don't comment on that. I'm like, I don't have time for this thing. I say, fuck off, man. Just like, continue. I'm like, it's just nice to see it, but it's like, yeah, okay. I just carry on with my life.
I feel that people would say that, shouldn't we be hard on ourselves? Shouldn't we, most of the time judge whether we are doing something wrong or right? I would say that, yeah, be hard on yourself. Don't be soft on yourself. If you are making a mistake, then accept that you are making a mistake. And this is one thing which I have seen people do, that they know internally, they know that they have done something wrong, but they won't accept it. And because of that feeling of doing something wrong always stays inside you, and because you're not accepting it, and that feeling is not going away. But if you just sit down and say that, okay, I've done a mistake, I will try to better it next time, this is a learning experience for me, then you will eventually yourself feel better. And same goes with other people as well, because I think I'll just give a small example, that when we are living our life, we meet a lot of people during different stages of our life, during college, during office, and sometimes we make a very close relationship with people, and during that time it feels like they are our best friend or mates, or whatever the relationship you are in. But after some time, you drift away, you change your company, or you move out of your college, and you lose contact, and they also lose contact. So that doesn't mean that you have become a bad person, or the other person has become a bad person because they are not talking with you, or they're not communicating with you. It's just the priority change, and this is life is full of changes, right? Things will always change. And if you just hold a grudge about that person, okay, we were such a good friends, we used to hang out so much, and now we're not even talking about it, talking with each other, that will not help, right? Either you pick the phone and call the other guy, or just forget about it. There's no point thinking about it. So yeah, I mean, that's what, again, reiterating your point that learn to forgive yourself and the others as well.
All right, I think that's a fair point. So on this point, I think we are a common friend. You recently spoke with him, so shout out to Manish. Wherever the fuck you are, you should always remember that I'll always love you, always have, and always will, no matter what happens. Hopefully, I'll call you soon. No, I will call you soon. Let's not say hopefully. So now the next point is, now that I have Manish's attention, so it's about loss of a loved one. That happens to a lot of people. My grandfather passed away in 2015. I think of all the people that I've had the least loss of loved ones, and because I was very close to my grandfather. People die all the time, but I've never been close to anybody who actually died in my family or somebody known. And so this was very odd because I grew up with my Nana, and because I used to just hang out with him a lot because my mom and dad used to go for work, and then my mom and dad had a lot of tension in their marriage, so they used to throw me in Nani's house, and I used to hang out with Nana, watch a lot of sports, all my sporting, everything that I became this, because I became this dynamic sports watcher and player because of my Nana, because everybody was cricket, but my Nana was in army, so he was like, well, watch tennis. I started watching tennis. He said, watch hockey. I started watching hockey. Cricket anyway used to come all the time. And we just started exploring different sports. And in fact, I started with tennis to start with. And I used to practice a lot of tennis in my house because I didn't even have a racket. So I would just get any kind of bat or whatever I could. I just keep whacking like Arantxa Sanchez Vicario did, like on a wall. And as she used to say, you can never beat the wall. And that's the best way you can practice. Keep hitting the fucking wall. It keeps coming back. You just keep getting better. So, and I was like, once that happened, and there's no recipe for this thing. There's no specific thing because it's not easy. Whatever I'm saying, it's not easy because nothing worth is easy, right? But the fact is that the moment that happened, I had to accept it. And I wrote a poem right after that. I decided that moment that what do? I'm a writer and I write something. And I wrote a poem and then I finished that in like next few days, put it up on my blog. And that just pretty much talked about all the memories that I had with him. And I never even shared that with Bikram, with anybody. I just didn't bother. And normally I would put my post on, like I'll promote it. That I just wrote it for myself. Didn't tell anybody. It was fine. And I was just out there. I think hardly anybody ever read it also. But in that post, have you read it?
Yeah, I have read it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So so it's just all my memories with him, and it was just that was my way of saying like goodbye. And I think that poem's name also, Goodbye, Grandpa. And that way I just like and I felt happy, and I was just you just carry on because I remember him and I'm just grateful for him. Instead of thinking somebody's gone, you should be grateful. And I was grateful that he was there to start with in the first place because my father wasn't there. And in a way I felt like that. I never thought of it that way consciously, but now I think about it it's like my father figure. So I just feel like people will go. It's just part of life. You have to just accept it, and that's the way. And the biggest point now I'm going to come to is number 7. Sharp turn, because I don't want to get into it because I was getting a little bit emotional about it. It's the fucking comfort zone. We are always trying to find, one thing I found with everybody in the fucking teens, in the 20s, the moment they get some money, whatever, their point is like, love yourself, then only you can love somebody else. The biggest fucking crap of shit I've ever heard. My mother is the greatest example. Anybody's mother. Do you really think your mother actually has to love herself first so she can actually love you? Fuck that shit. She will always love everybody. She'll love her husband. She will love you. She doesn't. In fact, if we have learned anything from our people, previous generations, particularly women, they don't actually love themselves. They don't do anything for themselves. They do everything for other people. So you're saying because they didn't actually love themselves, cared for themselves so much. My mother never bought a new fucking shoe, man, for herself, ever. And then she spent like lakhs and lakhs, eventually crores of rupees on her education to go to Australia. I was in Australia for 6 years. My sister has been there for a long time. She's going to stay there forever. She spent so much money. She never even bought a pair of shoes for herself, a single sari for herself. Forget about it. So I'm just saying you don't have to love yourself. And that's a different topic. But like so much comfort zone. People like, everybody's trying to do is how their life becomes easier. But as Joe Rogan fucking says all the time, don't try to make your life easier. Make it hard. And it makes you stronger. So don't get, whatever comes out. WhatsApp comes in, we get reliant on WhatsApp. Zoom comes in, reliant on Zoom. Instagram comes in, reliant on Instagram. Everything. Cab comes in, Uber is not there, what I'm going to do? Take a fucking bus. Walk. Okay, take a fucking... I'll just order and I'll Zomato it in. I'll get Swiggy. No, walk to the fucking store and get it yourself. Okay, because what happens, make a sandwich, get it yourself. Because what happens when you get so fucking relaxed, like my roommate, or housemate, and then you just feel like, oh, nobody's gonna deliver, so my life sucks. You know, one of the reasons I don't feel anything sucks during this whole COVID fucking lockdown paranoia drama, whatever circus I call it, is the fact that I don't miss anything. I have a fucking table. I need to write. I do it. I have my own coffee. I was drinking the fucking coffee. I was eating fucking biscuits earlier. I have everything that I want. I clean up my house. I clean up the fucking washroom. Today morning, I cleaned up the entire fucking kitchen. Okay. I stock up the fridge. I go buy my groceries. I walk down. I carry my thelas myself. I take a shower. I think people normally take showers themselves, right? Okay, that's not a valid point. So I have to remove that point. I don't know why. Some people are like, please give me a shower. He's gonna give me a shower. Okay, I was thinking of Buster from Arrested Development because he was 32. His mother was showering even that time because Buster never grew up. So, but what I'm saying is self-reliant, because once you do that, you just don't feel like you're missing certain things, because whenever these things happen, you get so reliant on that. Oh, my app is not working. My internet is not working. How will I go home? Uber is not there. Dude, you can always, Uber just came, 3, 4, 5 years ago, right? You still got home somehow, right? You did that. And I'm like, oh, like you can. Oh, planes are not running. How will I go in a fucking train? मतलब तो गरीब लोग जाते हैं train में. Dude, the same train, second AC, third AC, all the rich people used to go 10 years ago. Now like, oh, it's a garib, man. Garib people are going there. Get out of your fucking comfort zone, because when you're not out of your comfort zone, you feel depressed. Everything, small things get taken away from that. Oh, H&M, Zara बंद हो गया. मैं क्या करूँगी? मेरे को new dress तो आई नहीं है. Oh my God. I'm such a dude. मेरा हेयर स्टाइल का क्या होगा? मेरे इंस्टाग्राम प्रोफाइल की तो माँ बहन हो गई यार. So don't you agree? Like that, it's just like people just so comfortable when these things get taken away. You just feel like life sucks. Just sucks, man.
Yeah, I've seen this. I mean, in India it is there, but I've seen this much more in Western countries. I mean, in US, people have so many small vices. I will call it vices. That they don't, if that gets taken away, like you said, Uber or gym membership, you can still exercise at home, right? I've seen people like gym membership, gym बंद हो गया तो अब मैं क्यों exercise करूँगा, कैसे करूँगा, मैं मोटा होता जा रहा हूँ. But that's what I mean. Things change. Things will never remain the same. You have bought a TV. That TV will break down someday. You have bought you bought a laptop. Someday that laptop will break down. You shouldn't grow attachment to anything. And be, again, I think going back to the same point, the first point, that you shouldn't be dependent on anything material or any person. This is what is happening because of so many things which are available now, through internet or apps or whatever, that people get depressed because of no reason. I mean, lockdown for middle class or upper middle class, nothing changed, right? Everything was, they were getting everything, just not the high end stuff.
It's better. I'm telling you, it's better. I can tell you, because I'm not a very comfortable person. It's better. You can get your alcohol delivered. You could not even have thought of that in India. Okay, everything that they were doing, like delivery, India में तो नहीं होती है. Now you're getting alcohol delivered to your house as well. So what the hell do you want in your life, man? Obviously, my business of later on getting babies delivered at home. That is my biggest plan, biggest venture with Amazon, collaboration with Amazon. I will be sending babies to your house. You can, when you have to adopt, you just press a button, it will come. And if you want white baby, it will be expensive. Of course,
and I think
everybody wants white baby.
Yeah, and I think we're joking about it. I can totally see that happening. People will say, कौन बच्चे पैदा करेगा? Who will do all that? 9 महीने पेट में कौन रखेगा? कौन ये करेगा? हम 2 साल का बच्चा सीधा अडॉप्ट कर लेते हैं. And there'll be catalog ki this baby is raised, farm raised, like how chickens are raised.
Yeah, farm raised. I will like, whatever you want, man. We'll just, you press select. When you buy the Apple products, right? You say select this. You want headphones. You want this thing. You want this thing. I'm like, okay, baal ka color kya chahiye? Eye ka color kya chahiye? Skin tone. What do you want? Like how many toes do you want? You want extra toe, like extra finger, like Hrithik Roshan? We'll do that as well.
So yeah, I can see that totally happening in future. I won't be surprised.
Oh, I have a lot of plans. I have like full blueprint. I'm like, I'll do everything. I'll get like freaking Booker's Prize. I'll publish books. I'll help so many people. But like, people like, oh, that guy, the guy who sells babies on Amazon, right? That's the guy. I was like, dude, I have helped million people come out of poverty. They're like, that guy who sells babies, he sells such expensive babies, man. I was like, because you keep buying white babies, you moron. Brown babies are cheap. Buy the cheap ones. Brown baby तो हमारा तो खराब हो जाएगा ना. लड़की की शादी कैसे करेंगे 3 साल 5 साल बाद 20 साल बाद, not 5 साल. That's the old one, 5 years old. Okay, completely digressing. So I want to talk about the eighth point, which is like, please find a purpose, which we a little bit touched on it. Find a purpose in life, that what you really want to do. Because I feel a lot of people find their purpose and they just keep finding a purpose, finding their happiness in some job, in some degree, in Switzerland, in some freaking Amsterdam. Instead, find your purpose in something that you really like doing. So today we are doing this podcast. We make no money right now at this stage of this podcast, but right now I'm feeling such high, amazing high, that it just feels good that I am able to do, because I want to do this podcast. The moment it happened, I mean, Bikram, we've been, since we started, I was telling you that it was number 3 on the original list that we prepared, that I had shared with you. It was number 3 depression podcast that we're going to do. We never did it. We shot like 50 podcasts till now, right? And it did not happen. And then when Shushan decided to switch off, it was time. It was like, dude, we have to do it. And the moment I called you on Monday, I was like, listen, we're going to do it not on Sunday. We're going to do it on Saturday, release it on Sunday. Tomorrow it will be out. And we have to do it because it was a kick, something kick you needed, right? Obviously, Shushan didn't have to die for us to make a podcast. But the fact is that sometimes a person who is young, rich, popular, good looking has to freaking take this step. I do not know why this guy still had a fucking fan in his house, because obviously he had 16 air conditionings as well. But fan is like it was like probably he had it just for fun, and then eventually changed into fun to funeral. So okay, I just made that up, and I'll get pulled on this thing later on whenever the podcast is popular and all the sensitive people. Now I just find like you should find. I think I feel most happy right now. I feel happy when I'm not buying something, when I'm actually giving to people. So like I fleece somebody to this watch I'm showing on the camera, and the new band that I have, the running band. So this one, I fleece people. So I felt happy because I was manipulating people. I like manipulating people. That's how I get it. But when I buy something myself and if I earn money, sometimes a lot of people feel a lot of pride. Like, I earned this money. Like my dad used to say to my mother that, oh, I'm drinking from the money I earned. I was like, that's a very stupid idea. What if she starts eating shit? Then tomorrow you're like, I bought this shit. I said, not only you're actually buying shit and then you're spending your own money on it. That doesn't make a lot of sense. So that logic, you've heard this logic, right? He said, मैं अपने पैसों की पी रहा हूँ. I was like, what kind of logic is that? That is just stupid. That is just stupid. It should not be like that. So my point is like, I feel very happy when I'm trying to, one of the reasons I'm telling you that I'm trying to move to Delhi is because I was with this Robin Hood army. And I want to go back there and start rehabilitating and creating an infrastructure again. After this whole COVID mess happened, the poor people got even poorer. Rich people kept getting richer. Obviously, shout out to Bezos and the Zuckerbergs and all the fucking nice people. So yeah, they got rich and poor people. So I want to go there and help, because once I help somebody and I do a little bit for them, I get them a chair, maybe teach them a little bit, maybe the plaster their with the flooring with the cement. I just feel so much a rush of energy. I feel like this is something feels so much better than buying shit for yourself, and that's my purpose. And as you were saying earlier, that purpose is not probably just one single thing. It's dynamic. It is just multiple things, and it keeps evolving over a period of time. But it's about, if you don't like your job, in simple terms, quit and find something else. And if you can't do something else, learn some other skills and find those things. I did completely different degree and I'm doing completely different jobs. Podcasts. I mean, who would have thought even last year that we would be doing this podcast? But it's about thinking and saying like, what can we do? What else can we do? I mean, 1 year ago at this exact time, on 20th of June 2019, and you were already 34 years old. I was already 38 years old. How would we ever thought that we'll be sitting here and doing this thing? No fucking way, man. No fucking way. And we're doing this right now. We're already done 50 and we've just crossed, by the way, 100 followers, and we got a message from Shrishti. So shout out to her as well. A lot of shout outs in this podcast. But the fact is that I am happy that she sent us the card and you're happy. But we should not be relying on people or the number of subscribers. It should make us happy that it's happening, but our happiness should not rely on the fact that somebody is actually being nice to us. When they're nice to us, we should be grateful, because gratitude is one thing that we need to have. Real gratitude, not fake gratitude, because there's a lot of fake gratitude going around. Yes, I'm talking about you, Abhishek Bachchan and Amitabh Bachchan, because you learned from Amitabh Bachchan. A lot of fake gratitude from Amitabh Bachchan. Okay. Now moving on to the ninth one. Pull the plug on toxic relationship. I'm not sure, Bikram, if you have had toxic relationship, because I meet a lot of people and I end up in a lot of small term toxic relationships with people. I'm not just talking about just women. I'm just anybody. Just you meet people and they're like, this guy, this girl, this guy, this person. I was just weird. And this squirrel. Sometimes squirrels, I have a lot of relationship with squirrels. Sometimes they're asshole. They're just trying to be you're backbiting and a lot of stuff happens. So And monkeys are just assholes. Monkeys are, and see, the thing between monkeys is like they're right in your face. They're like, listen, I don't like you, and they'll fucking hit you. Sometimes they slap you also. That, or maybe the chimpanzees do that, and they steal your stuff and they slap you. It's like, you already fucking took my bananas and everything. Now you have to slap me as well. It's like, oh well, and then they steal your glasses also. Like, now you can get the glasses back if you give me something else. So I was like, okay, but toxic relationship is a huge problem because you don't have them. I don't have them because I'm so conscious. But I can tell you, because if you talk to younger people, everybody is in a toxic relationship. Everybody is in a toxic relationship. When I say toxic, I'm using a big word, but they're with people. Right now, one of the biggest problem with COVID is people like, I'm with my girlfriend, my wife, my family, and I'm like, that's one of the reasons I'm losing my mind. The child abuse has gone up. Okay. The domestic violence has gone up. Dude, because you're with the wrong people. You're just with the wrong people. And that's a huge problem. And particularly with relationship. Like, for example, like if you have a friend, you talk to him or her for like twice or something, you don't have to talk to that person. What if that person is your girlfriend, wife, mother, brother, sister? You can't just let go, right? Because but you are deciding that situation, and you can fix that. Because I understand you can break up with your wife. I mean, difficult, but girlfriend, friend, you can't break up with your wife. You can't break up with your mother, obviously. But you can actually work around that. So choose the wife that you want to marry. You can't choose your mother, but obviously you can work around that, right? You can have situations. So you don't have to constantly talk to your mother. You don't invite her home for like 6 months. Make it 6 minutes or like 6 days. 6 minutes too less. You can't just invite somebody from like 6,000 miles and they're like, okay, ho gaya aapka, chalo bye. So, but you can work around that. So I just feel like, have you ever had a toxic relationship?
Not a relationship, but there was a point where it was a one-way relationship, and I was close to being depressed that time. So yeah, and I eventually that ended, so I felt better.
I think every guy has actually, unless you look like, Ryan Gosling or all the Ryan Reynolds and all these cool Ryans. Then everybody had this one way, particularly with some much better looking girl who's like probably getting a lot of suitors anyway. And they're like, okay, this happens. It happened with me also. But like, what happens is you just get on with it. You do what Zuckerberg did in the movie. I mean, I don't know what he did in real life. You say, okay, let's create Facebook. So you create something else. You create porn websites that are not banned in India, because that's a big market that's still open, right? Because now they're trying to ban all this stuff. So you create something that just people can watch. It's something for children. I mean, I didn't say that.
No, I mean, there are so many things to do. I mean, okay, if you like someone and they don't like you, they don't want to be with you, that's fine. There are now, I mean, especially now, there are so many options as well to connect with people, even though we don't recommend that much. But again, we are going back to the same thing again and again, that find happiness in things you already have, or things which you're already doing, or things which you plan to do. Just if you have something, just if you wanted to do something, you wanted to create something, if you wanted to work on something, learn something, just do it. There are better use of your time than just feeling depressed about a failed relationship.
Yeah. So moving on to the next one, I think the big cities is one of the major factors why people feel low, depressed, awkward, weird. Because in cities, everybody's just angry. I was like, everybody's like, people just angry. You look, like, I remember this guy, somebody said like, why are you looking at me? I was like, what? He's like, you're looking at me. I was like, no, you're in my line of sight, buddy. He's like, well, look away. I was like, look, like, you're in my line of sight. I'm looking at you. You have a problem. You want me to look left. This guy is going to be, you're deliberately trying to look at me now left, because he's standing there. He's going to be angry. So I don't know what to do, man. I was like, what? I'm just shut my eyes and let people hit me. What the fuck do you want me to do? So people just get angry about anything. So like, for example, like you live in a place, or if you have to live in a city, just at least live in a place which looks like a residential area. You don't open your door and the fumes start coming in. Freaking, I don't know what kind of fumes, or traffic noise comes in constantly. Like, you live in a place, you bought a flat, right? And then, but you don't live there because it's probably more far away, and you want to live in a more residential area, and you want to raise kids there. You feel much more happier. I've seen your place, and I've just overstayed there. So I know it's a nice place. You've come to my place as well in Bombay for the rent we pay, and the place it's just freaking, like, it's just peaceful, right? And we have parks and everything. So it's very peaceful to be in Bombay and actually be living here. So I feel I've decided that I'd rather pay a little bit more rent, which is not too much anyway here. So you can actually find out better ways, or move to smaller cities if you can, if
Or
your
move
job
to
allows, I
suburban
know a lot of the
suburban
factors
areas.
come into factor. Yeah, suburban areas, just live in a more peaceful place. Because remember when our close friend Manish moved out from that place which I used to like to another place which was much bigger after he got married, and I was like, this place has no soul. I hate it. And he's like, it's got gym in it. And I'm like, dude, how many times have you gone to the gym? He's like, oh, I'm planning to. And he has already been there 6 months. Then he left without still planning. So it's just I'm saying, like, why to be in a place where you just don't feel it's home? It just feels like a house, and it just feels like a rented place. And it's just no point. When I go to your house, if you don't tell me this is rented, I would not know, because you guys have like put your pictures everywhere. It's like, it's just I take medication before I walk in, because otherwise I feel like diabetic. So yeah, it's just, it doesn't feel like a rented house. It feels like this is your place, and it's important to own the place that way. You have to ownership, like, you whatever you do, you should take ownership from that. So I think quitting big cities, if you can't just create a situation where you don't feel constantly stressed, and you just feel like, live in a place if you can, like, which is more peaceful, which just doesn't feel like it's just in the middle of freaking Chandni Chowk or something. That's New Delhi jargon. So in case you're not in New Delhi, just think something very busy, hustly bustly, and just too much noise. And the greatest lesson I have learned, number 11 in life, is choose your battles. I heard this long time ago, but then I remember when I was in a boarding school, I lived mid of a sheltered life. Then I moved to Australia, which did not feel like a foreign country. And I was almost 25 years old when I came back from Melbourne. And then reality hit. I came to India, I realized within 3 days, it took me 3 days, and I was almost 25 years old, that one of the biggest reasons why, Bikram, I'm very pessimistic or negative about India. But you still realize that I will do everything for the country to help anybody, whatever way I can. I'm not doing everything, but I will. But I feel very negative. One of the reasons is because I never felt the way I felt when I came back to India. Within 3 days, within 72 hours, I realized that nobody gives a shit about me if I'm not wearing good clothes, if I'm not wearing the right watch, if I'm not speaking in English, if they know my color is worse or something. My color is lighter, right? And I just realized that you have no value, and that I did not realize because I was too young when I was in boarding school, and boarding school was nice. Then I was in Australia, people really didn't care. People talk about racism and all that nonsense. Of course shit will happen, but I'm like, nobody ever said anything to me, and I never felt weird. And people used to underdress all the time. Australia is not a place where people overdress, and people don't even showcase their wealth, and people think it's filthy to do that. And the people get on a higher position, they get more humble because they feel like other people are already intimidated by them. It's just nice to be nice. So when I came back to India, I just realized that people really don't care about you. And then I saw so much corruption. I thought people were unreasonable about everything. People were angry. Plus I was in Delhi, so it did not help, obviously. And I just realized people are littering everywhere. And it just bothered me. Everything I just saw just kept bothering me constantly. And I was like, people are using too much plastic. People are now more and more now using. And I was just like, what do I do? And then I realized, if I can't fix something, just do not keep thinking about it. People will keep throwing garbage. You do what you can do. You control only what you can control, and you can teach people. But if you're gonna get angry with people and expect people to change it, even if you nicely tell them, they might change it that time, but they won't change it. So you choose your battles, and you can't win everything. You can't have everything according to you, and it's okay. And once you decide that, and particularly with the people who are actually idealistic, like I'm very idealistic, most of people don't care about choosing battles because they're like, fuck it, I don't care. People can fucking garbage everywhere. I don't give a shit about the country. But when you're a little bit idealistic, you want things to be better. But when you're living in a third world country, people are going to be looking after themselves first. It's always going to be you first, because nobody's going to be taking care of them. There's no welfare. There's no good minimum wage. If you don't have engineering degree, there's a difference between electrician and an engineer. But when you go to Germany, you're an electrician or engineer, nobody cares. But in India, it's chalk and cheese, man. It's completely different. It's a completely different ball game. So I feel like once you choose your battles and you decide that what you want to fight for, and sometimes you just got to let go, and you let go. You got to learn that. It's again a very acquired process. It takes time, but that's something which helped me a lot.
Yeah,
and I think we already touched upon do what you like, but that's just not that extending to even things that you do every day. Like when you wake up in the morning, what do you do first thing? Do you drink tea? Do you just watch porn? Do you brush your teeth when you go to bed? When you get up, do you exercise, or do you just hog a lot of parathas? Do something that you like, but also that's something that makes you feel better. Not just, you can't just start hogging chocolates at 11 p.m. at night, right? That's not a very good idea. So do what you like. I like doing podcasts, I like writing, I like running, I like reading, I like drinking green tea, Kashmiri kawa. I do that. So you figure out what you like and you do that. And I'm like, as I told you, Bikram, I've been really busy recently at work from Monday to Friday. So I feel like on the weekend, I'm still busy, but I'm doing something I like. So it doesn't feel bad. It feels good.
Doesn't feel like
So I don't
work.
know, like, doesn't feel like work. It just feels like I'm inputting my time. Since yesterday, I've been like making notes. You've been making notes. So we just feel like just just do something. 14 years I've been writing. So although writing has got me jobs, but those jobs I don't enjoy. But 14 years of writing and continuously doing something, and I've not made any money from this thing. I mean, how would I should feel bad about it, right? I don't look at it that way. I look at it like I wrote 3 novels. I wrote 134 articles. I wrote tons of other screenplays which didn't get sold. I wrote thousands of quotations, and I'm writing a lot of stories. So something will happen. I just feel so much joy because I created something. I think one of the things when people create something, people feel a lot of joy than actually working for somebody else's dreams. And I think when you do
Yes.
your dreams, even those small dreams, small things.
Yeah.
But when you do in your day things that you want to do, because I just had a talk other day with Nikesh, that's my ex-student, I can call him friend. Um, he feels very depressed because he's constantly reliant on other people, and he's like, he lives in California, he's got the life, and he feels like he wants to come to India and meet some people, and then he feels like if once he comes to India he's not able to come because of all the COVID nonsense, then he'll meet them, and he has to come back, he'll be so depressed. I said, why don't you just move to India? He said, I don't want to move to India, I want to live in. I said, dude, what do you want to do? Here people are fucking living in Nala Sabara or Dharavi or some shit place, and they don't have food to eat. You're living in fucking California and you complaining about shit. I mean, my point is people can find reasons to complain everything. So, but the problem is he's not able to do things that he wants to do. He's constantly relying on other people, and he feels he doesn't want to do this. Dude, first of all, he was like looking for a job for 2 years, could not find. Now he got a job. He said, I don't want to go to the job.
That means that was not something he really wanted. That's what it is.
It's just that you just like, you beta पढ़ रहे हो तो फिर job तो करना ही पड़ेगा ना. You've spent 1 crore rupees.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah,
likes
I
that. That's because you do things that you don't like in the first place.
Yeah, sometimes people imprison themselves in these things because of various reasons, and then they are not able to get out of it, and after some time, even if they are not realizing, they start feeling depressed, and that's where it all starts.
Yeah, I mean, moving on to the next point is like, and I think one of the problems is like there's some people who are always trying to like avoid confrontation or confrontation. Finding it difficult to pronounce that word. So, like taking issues head on, just always saying, trying to put it under the carpet. It's like, theek hai na, I don't want to get into a fight. I don't want to create a situation. I don't want things uncomfortable. What happens every time you keep bottling up? See, sometimes you can't always be like out there, because then you'll be just the angry person, constantly angry person. You don't want to be that person, right? But at the same time, when you really have to stand up for yourself, you have to stand up. When you have to stand up for your loved ones or stand up for somebody who is getting treated badly, you have to do that. You have to take up the case. You have to stand up, and you have to get angry, because you never get angry. There's a huge problem. Don't always keep smiling, because a lot of people who were not close to Mr. Rajput, they said they always talk about his smile, always smiling, always smiling, always smiling. Dude, there was shit was happening. Maybe all those smiles were not useful at the end of the day, because you're not showcasing what is really happening. Just fucking come out with it and say it. Put it out there and just be an asshole, because I am an asshole. Like I'm a full-time asshole. But you can be a part-time asshole. You can be a casual asshole. You can be sometime asshole. But it's good to be an asshole. Let it out. Don't bottle up, because the more you bottle up, because I definitely believe that one of the reasons I don't feel shitty is because I just let it out. Just freaking say it. If I keep bottling it up, I don't know what will happen to my mind. My mind, and by the way, sometimes I have to bottle up at workplace. It just fucking kills me, man. It just feels like, why am I doing that? I am not being honest. People like, you're avoiding confrontation. It's nicer. I said it's nicer, but I feel like I was such a fucking worse man. I was such a coward. I didn't say anything to this guy because he's some boss guy or some guy, or maybe some girl. She'll feel offended because of the whole fucking thing. Like, oh, you have to be nice to women. What about nice to me? What about doing your fucking job properly, right? So all kind of nonsense, but you just feel you bottle up your emotion, and in the longer run, it just kind of it gets to you, and eventually you say like, where's the fucking fan, man? Where's the fucking fan? And
Yeah,
I don't
and
know what
I
the
think-
ropes are doing in your house. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I was just thinking when you talked about that Sushant, whenever someone saw Sushant Singh, he was always smiling, and no one, I mean, I think people who were close to him knew about his depression, but other than that no one knew, because being a actor, you don't want to let these things out, so your image will go down. And I just wanted to give an example of Deepika
Yeah, I was thinking
Padukone.
about it.
Yeah, because she came out and said that I was depressed, and multiple times, and even this guy, the Australian Maxwell, he took a break from cricket, and it is okay. You can take a break from cricket, and now the society is such that even though we are regressing in a lot of things, but people understand depression now. People accept that there is depression, and if you come out and say that I am depressed, a lot of people will make fun of you. That's how people are. But there will be a lot of people who will understand. They will accept that, yeah, I understand that in being in this profession or being in this situation, anyone can feel depressed. So I thought that I just thought about Deepika, that she came out, and Maxwell as well. He even took a break from cricket, which was very good. I mean, I think everyone really liked it. Even Virat Kohli said that this is something which he would also like to do if that happens. So yeah, I think that's something which you should come out and accept, or tell someone that I'm not okay with what is going on.
Yeah, it's true, because if tomorrow I heard that Deepika Padukone decided to end her life, or Marcus Trescothick did that, because those are very commonly known people who actually come up with depression, I would have been like, yeah, I mean, she was kind of depressed, so you kind of see, like, I'm not saying you saw it coming, but it makes sense. When Sushant happened, like, what? It's like,
Yeah.
how did that happen? So like, that doesn't seem. It's like Shah Rukh Khan committed suicide. I was like, dude, this guy is so full of himself. He'll never kill himself. Because when
Oh, God.
Sushant died, the first thing the guy writes is like, he loved me so much.
Yeah,
Like,
with his
are
picture,
you
his
so
smiling
serious?
picture.
Dude is like, and then people were like complaining about Aaj Tak by saying like, ये अपनी Sushant खुद ही hit wicket हुए, and people like, oh, so below the belt, so bad, such for all the fucking ratings and everything. And I was like, that's bad, but that's what you expect from them. But Shah Rukh Khan, dude, you're not even getting ratings. The first thing you don't say like, I'm so unhappy. He's like, he loved me so much. And I'll never forget that line. It's just,
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I feel like, dude is dead. Doesn't matter whatever you write. But I'm just saying, like, people are narcissistic. They don't even realize the guy's so full of himself. He's just floating in his own freaking narcissism. Like, he's floating. Everybody's like, it's all. But obviously, can't blame him, because we are the one. I was like a fucking biggest fan when I was growing up. People still keep watching his movies. He's 55 years old, always fucking like having romance, pretending to be fucking 34. Well. Okay, by the way, moving on to the next points, I feel you got to make real friends. I think people have completely forgotten what the real friends are. Whenever I meet somebody online or something, I say like, let's speak. And they say like, aren't we already speaking? And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go into the semantics of the English here, but there's a word called texting. There's a thing called chatting. Speak. You don't type. That is speaking. People are like, are we not speaking? People have completely forgotten that this is not speaking. No, it's not speaking. This is happening between me and Bikram. That is speaking. People like, and if I could take screenshots of that, you will be surprised. 9 out of 10 people say that, aren't we already speaking?
Okay.
And I was like, no. And they're like, oh, but you're talking very specific. This is speaking only. No, this is like everybody speaks like this now. I was like, no. Tomorrow people stops like making all this hand gestures and signals because everybody is deaf and mute. That doesn't mean this is their speaking. This just doesn't change. Speak still means speak. It's a basic verb, right? Speak means when something comes out of your mouth. And then write something is different. Type something, chat something is different. Okay, there's a difference between that. So, but it's just people don't, because what happens is, to make real friends. By the way, 3 things are most important: time, effort, and thought. And all these combined, you show up for those people. Become of all the people, including my best friend, whom I love to death. Okay, Sanket, shout out. This is the 15th shout out in this podcast. Now, okay, I'm not trying to appropriate black culture. Okay, if tomorrow this podcast become popular, I'm gonna get so much shit on this thing. Oh, you're trying to appropriate black culture. I say I'm fairly black myself, right? So. Of all the people in all my life, people have gone away, and I've loved people, like, genuinely, and I love him to that. But you have stood up for me throughout, like, whatever, since we decided to do these things. things are not, everything is not perfect. I understand that, and we've talked about it. I've emailed you about that. That's not the point. But point is, like, week in, week out, that is much more important. And of all the people I've ever met in my life, nobody will do it. Nobody will, because a part of you also understands that probably will not make any money out of this. Probably will not do anything. It'll be fine. We'll keep doing it. People will watch it. It'll be nice. We'll feel good, but maybe we'll not make any. But the fact is that people still show up, and you're busy. You have a kid. You have a wife. You have a job. You have other projects. You have another thing going on. But you still show up week in, week out, and we're doing this thing. This is like my dream, and this is your. It's becoming your dream, and we are all together. And it's something that once that happens, no matter what happens now or later, I will always remember that, and I'll always be thankful. Not only what that does to me is, whenever I feel bad, I'm just telling, I don't know if I've said this to you directly, I always think of the people. Like this watch, I have not spoken with her like such a long time, but the relationship I made with her was so amazing that even right now, this person said, listen, even if I don't have money, if you want money, I'll help you. Okay, just don't ever think that you don't want to ask me because you think I don't have money. But if you need some help or anything, or for anything, I will help you. And these people will always remember me. And I always feel, you know what, those relationships I created, whenever something bad happens and I feel low or something weird, I always think of all these people and I feel like, yes, I feel good that I've done something good. And this takes time. People just say like, oh, I've chatted with this person, let's go out on a date, let's meet this person. I have two friends, we party together, we went to Pattaya together, Bangkok together. That's how you make friends. Dude, the friendship ignores on the best moments, the friendship, and when shit happens. People always, there's an old saying, a friend is indeed who's with you in good times and bad times. I always said, fuck that shit. Everybody's with you in good times. The friend, a real friend, is somebody who's with you in bad times. Okay. When the shit is happening and when nothing is happening. When you're bored to death. Okay. You're bored to death, and that's when their friend is still there with you, for you. And for me, friendship is so much more important than anything else. And because I remember that day when I got my date to your house, and then we were just chatting for like next 2-3 hours, and I felt like you'll probably not chat so much, but then I was like, he's chatting too much, he's just taking too much time because he's just getting like but I never said anything to you. I was like, fuck this thing. I looked at your eyes, I was like, you've had less interaction and you've just talking to somebody, you feel good, and the other person is intelligent, and I was like, yeah, this guy is happy, there's no fucking way I'm telling him not to talk to this person. This is exactly what I thought. That was what was happening in my mind. I was like, fuck. And because it got so late, because we got both of us, like, my date that time also got so sleepy. But it was fine, because I felt like, I did the right thing. Because if I done, because I was just selfish. I didn't want to be selfish. And I feel like people are enjoying, so I'm like, it's fine, let's go on and do it. I think people might not understand the complete context of it. And I'm not going to get into it, obviously. This doesn't make any sense. So, but people need to make real friends. You are my real friend. And there are some people who moved away, but this is like, but it's taken so much time, Vikram. 2013 onwards, it's a gradual thing. Now, you know what? You meet somebody online, like, oh, I'm looking for good vibes. Dude, it's not going to come on the fucking platter. Again, the same thing. Everything is happening because of you, for you. What have you? I see fat chicks online. They're like, I want this thing, I want that. Dude, go to fucking gym first. Why would this person spend entire life with you? I'm only here for marriage. Don't waste my time if you're here for casual stuff. I'm not here for hookup. Dude, look at your waist, man. Look at your waist. It's a complete waste. It's spelled as WASTE. Dude, do something. You want somebody to spend their entire life, leave every amazing girl, every other amazing human on earth, and stay with you for the rest of your life, and you can't even do anything to even fix yourself, take care of yourself, educate yourself, know anything about that person. You want everything for yourself, but not anything for the other person. Jesus, I don't understand what people are doing. So make real friends. For me, real friends. And people always in India, it's all about family. Okay, family, fine. If you want to do family, but do real family. Do not be so manipulative families. Crazily manipulative. What do you do? Create real relationships. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to, this just came into my mind that people somehow, they are full of ego. They think that they are the center of the universe. And everything should happen for them. Everything should just come to them. They are the nicest person in this world. Why should anything bad happen to them? This is not how world works, right? And if, as you said, if you want to have a real relationship, you have to give equal or sometimes even more commitment than the other person. Then only you will make true relationship, whether it's friendship, whether it's marriage or anything. It takes time, even with your parents. I think there are a lot of you would have heard a lot of people saying that after 20 years, after 25 years, I finally opened up to my parents. I finally made them my friends. Why? They were their parents for 25 years, but it took you 25 years to understand them. It took them also to 25 years to open up with you. So it takes time. Everything takes time. It's not going to happen just वो कहते हैं love at first sight. That doesn't happen. That is attraction at first sight. That's not love. It takes time to for that feeling to the real feeling to come out. So yeah, I think that's what I wanted to say, that don't think that you are the center of the universe.
Yeah. Last thing before I move on to the next topic is I'll say, like, if I need somebody, like if I need a kidney tomorrow, I'll call Bikram. I say, like, I need a kidney because it's just happening. I just had too much alcohol in the last 16 days in Las Vegas and Bangkok. And then once he comes, because he'll show up, because I know he will show up. And that's a good feeling in your mind that somebody will show up for you. It always makes you feel you're good. Because one of the things which will make people feel depressed is like when they know that nobody will show up for them. That's just sad feeling, right? And then once he comes in and tries to give his kidney, I was like, no, now that he's giving the kidney, also take the other one as well. And he's like, but doctor said you only need one. I said, no, one I'm selling. He's like, have you asked him? I said, yeah, he's fine with it completely. But by the time you're already been like, they put you on anesthesia and everything. I was like, take it. So that something is me, because then later on, but then he already, as I already told in this thing, that don't hold grudges. I don't think he'll hold grudge. He's like, theek hai, ho gaya. Get on with it. I will see somebody else's kidney now.
Yeah,
I want to restart the video. Yeah, I want to restart the video.
So I think there were a lot of. I saw one interview of Sushant Singh where he was saying that in Bollywood no one calls him up, or he is not able to make friends with anyone in Bollywood. And when we were talking about making real friends, I think I just thought about him that maybe rather than just going to everyone trying to make friends with them, maybe he could have just made couple of friends, or made given effort to just couple of people who he thought that they are very similar to me, or we have similar kind of thoughts. So that would have been better. I mean, yeah, I just wanted to say that.
I'll leave that thought. Move on to the next one.
Yeah.
And it's about exercising. I wake up every single day, no matter what. And I've talked to a lot of people about this, Bikram. People like, oh, I can only run. There are people who like, I can only run till 6:30 because Ahmedabad mein to garmi ho jati hai. And I'm like, 6:30 a.m. That's your benchmark. And there's the same people who never wake up before 7 a.m. So what I'm saying, that you see this paradoxical situation that they're saying I will only run before 6:30 and I'll never wake up before 6:30. So what happens? You'll never run. Then second people, oh, I can run till 7:30 and I wake up at 6:30, but I need somebody to run with me.
Yeah.
Another problem. Third problem is, अरे park में तो बहुत लोग आते हैं, कैसे run? Dude, you're already finding excuses. You need to find solutions. Yeah. My solution is, Bombay, they shut down all the parks. Okay. I said, okay, because of COVID. I said, okay, I'll run on the roads because roads are empty. So start running on the roads. Yeah. Every single day I've run on the roads. Every single day I've done 15 to 20 kilometers because if you put me in my room and say because of COVID you're stuck in your room, I will get depressed because of that. I need to go and do my run first thing in the morning. You exercise. I'm not saying you gotta do run. You can do Pilates. You can do
yoga,
Patanjali yoga. You can do hot yoga. Whatever the fuck you want to do, but do something.
Yeah, in fact, I just wanted to add in some one interesting stuff, because I can't. I mean, I'm not going out, but you know what I'm doing to get some exercise in? I'm dancing with my daughter.
Dancing with a daughter, that's a good one, because I saw somebody else. Ranjit was doing it. Ranjit, the ex, he used to be called the rapist villain. So he was doing it with his daughter. I thought he was dead. His daughter was so young. This guy was like, what is like making babies till he was 50s or something.
And I think this is a very natural advice, because I don't know how many people have felt this, but if you do some physical activity, if you are feeling a bit low or feeling down, and if you do a physical activity even for 15 minutes, whether it's just walking out or just running for a bit or just dancing or whatever, you will feel good. I think this always happens. I have been through a lot of very difficult projects where I had to sit for long hours and things were not moving. But then I'll just go out for a run for 20-25 minutes and I'll just feel very refreshed. And and then it gives me so much energy to do my work. And I mean, I'll I want to share some research as well on this, because I had spent some time reading scientific journals, and
All right.
even they say that exercise programs produce a moderate clinical improvement in depression, which is comparable to antidepressant medicines. And a public health dose of exercise of 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise per week is actually recommended by doctors. So that they are saying that the effect of exercise is comparable to the antidepressant, the medicines which people take. And if you do 150 minutes of exercise per week, that is, I mean, minimum of that should cure your depression to a good extent.
Fair enough. So I think if people can do that, I think both of us at least getting enough exercise. I've been seeing your stats. You're doing like number 34 or 32 from thousands of people in there. Your cult yoga or
Yeah.
whatever that is. So
Yeah.
so I think I think one thing I'll say is that nobody has ever felt bad after a run. Nobody has ever felt bad after a good workout. It always gives you this high. Anybody who's just taking care of yourself, apart from the people who have like clinical problems, genetic problems, this running is the easiest because it's something you don't need people. You just need shoes and run. That's it. And everything else, you
Yeah.
need something here and there. You need maybe some technique, yoga. You need to learn something. You don't need to learn anything. Okay. Only thing you have to remember is buy the right kind of shoe. Also watch my other podcast about running, and
Yeah.
do not land on your heel. Land on your fucking toes. That's the only thing that you have to like. And be, if you're running on the streets, please be wary of the open sear holes. So the caps, they're missing caps. You may fall down inside, and that's not my fault because I already told you that. So there's a disclaimer. Okay. Now moving to 16th point, which is just almost there now. So sleep. I think that's what you were saying. Your stats were not about sleep right now. That was more about exercise.
Yeah. I have stats
Okay.
for sleep as well. Yeah.
Okay, sleep. Get your 6 to 8 hours regular sleep at the regular time. You cannot sleep 3 hours Monday to Friday and catch up 30 hours on the weekend. Doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. This has been scientifically proven by every motherfucking scientist. Okay, it doesn't work that way. You can't sleep 15 hours for 5 days, 3, 3, 3, and then 15 hours on Saturday night. Doesn't work that way, buddy. So that's not become 30. It's going to fuck your mind even worse. Okay, unless you're some weird other specimen,
Yeah.
don't do that. Particularly if you're constantly looking at technology. I've had a lot of people telling me, I can't sleep, this problem is happening. I said, dude, because you simply refuse to switch off the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you have on sleep?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to throw statistics right now, but I'll just, there was a study done in 2016 which talked about the effect of good sleep or the right amount of sleep on depression. And it says that in this clinical study, patients continued to improve in the follow-up phase and obtained very high remission rates. And I'm talking about depression. So what that means, that let's just say that if I am depressed to a very large degree, and same with Gaurav when he's depressed, and if Gaurav is taking his medicines, I am also taking the medicines, but I am not sleeping right and he is sleeping right, the medicines will take care of the depression for a certain amount of time, but once you are off the medicines, the depression will come back. So I'll again feel depressed until and unless I start sleeping well. I sleep the desired amount and sleep at the right time, wake up at the right time. That will take care of a lot of your depression, and it will make sure that that doesn't come back again. So yeah, sleep is sleep is very important.
There you go. You have the blueprint. Come on, just follow it. It's not that difficult. It's not that difficult. Only right now in the last 20 years, sleep has become such a problem. Dude, you hit the bed. If you're tired, if you're doing something, if you've worked hard, you've had your food earlier, you've had your exercise, you just feel tired. You just fall asleep. That's as simple as that. Now,
I think
Go on.
just a small point. I think a lot of people are not able to sleep properly because we are having. It goes back to the previous point we made, the physical exercise. I think a lot of people are not doing enough physical activity to feel tired and sleep properly. I think this is one of the reasons I have also seen when I'm just sitting and just doing something and for a week. then my sleep cycle goes away. Even now I'm not sleeping, I sleep very late, but whenever I sleep, the quality of sleep is very good, because I mean, even if the band comes and plays in front of my I have shared this story in another podcast. I'll link it if I remember. So yeah, I mean, sleep is important. Yeah.
Fair enough. So the last point is, which we already talked about, stay away from negative people. What if you are the negative people? You are yourself the negative person. Then, dude, you just have to fix yourself slowly and gradually. Understand why all these negative things are happening. And trust me, all those negative things are happening because the first 16 points, some of them are missing completely, which we talked about.
Yeah.
Because why are you negative? Why is it? Because it's probably because you're not eating right, probably because you're not sleeping right, probably because you're not exercising right, probably you're doing the wrong fucking job, probably your girlfriend is a complete asshole, probably your boyfriend is a fucking cheater or fucking lazy cunt. So all those things are actually impacting you. All the 16 points. So when you're negative yourself, you need to address yourself, because there are a lot of people who are always negative. You know how many people I found out are so fucking negative? There are people who feel this COVID will never go away. How the fuck doesn't even make any scientific sense? It will never go away. What does that mean, never go away? And they say, oh, he got COVID. I said, did she die? No, she was asymptomatic. I was like, okay. So why are you like losing your mind? You say, she had COVID. She didn't even fucking feel it. It's flu. COVID is flu. She didn't even feel it. Nothing happened. It's okay.
It's just
Was she
there's
dying?
no cure.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. It's like people just go completely nuts. Then, and when you have to fix yourself, you have to keep at it. Things don't happen overnight. People are like, I went to gym 3 days. Look at, I have no abs. Jesus. Well, I don't know what to do with this guy. You know how many people you've known in Bikram in college or school or something, they do a little bit of exercise, then they go stand next to the mirror, those full wardrobe mirrors, and they're like, take their shirt off, like, can you see it? Can you see dole? And I don't know, that's the same term you used to use there, but in Delhi around, they're like dole. I was like, what the fuck? There's nothing there. I've done it for like one day as well. It's just so stupid. And I think everything in my life is about depression. Sorry, not depression. Discipline. Everything is about discipline. And discipline fucking beats depression all the time. Okay? All the fucking time. Discipline, people say it's boring, but it's not boring if you're doing something that you really love doing. How can it be boring? So that's why you need to figure out what you love doing and make discipline around that. You plan it around that. Okay?
Yeah.
Because the same things can be bad. A wife you don't like can be terrible and get you depression. A wife you really like can actually make you feel super happy. A kid who's selling drugs can make you really unhappy. Well, some people it might make happy as well, depending how much money is coming in. A kid who's a complete asshole, doesn't listen to you anything, and just, tries to break everything, particularly all the expensive things. You just like feel unhappy. You're like, oh, why did I have this kid? Why did I use contraception? What happened? Bad things happen all the time. So, what? So all those things. And the last point I want to say is that 2 points. That one is like, of all the things I said, if all the things that you've tried and still not working, that means there's something particularly, probably it's a generic thing. It's something in your DNA. Seek therapy. Never ever stop. And please go to the right person. Don't go to just fucking dumb fucks who themselves don't know anything. They've taken degree. I don't know how this work should not be based on degree. I'm very happy for people to take degree. But those fancy people wearing fancy, particularly the women, they're sitting there and deciding, oh, I will fix you. You have seen no life. Go to people who have seen life themselves, who have probably felt some depression themselves, who have actually have real experience of not just with clients, but real people who don't pay them money. Because when you pay money, the deal is, I was telling other person, Bikram, this thing that, it's very bad business for them to fix you. The good business for them is to not fix you. Because you keep coming back. Okay.
That's
and it's
true,
expensive. So you go to the right person who's almost about to die, 90-year-old person is like, main paise ka kya karunga? So he's trying to fix people. Go to somebody who looks like not here to make money, but who's here to like genuinely feel passionate about actually helping people who also have some experience. So go take therapy. And it's although I said earlier that it is people have become weak, but it's okay to be weak. But what is the problem is it's perfectly okay to accept that you're weak and take help.
Yeah.
Because everybody is weak in some or the other way. I've become strong over the years, over the time, but some things I'm still weak. I'm still very awkward with social people, and I just feel like don't like talking to these people. Technology I'm awkward with. So people are weak. I just don't want to do certain things. It's perfectly fine. It's not weak to accept that you're weak. It's perfectly okay. And that's what people need to understand this thing.
And I think that's the first step of fixing anything, that you have to accept it.
Acceptance is the beginning of everything, man. And then you try to fix it, because one of the things that you said earlier that we just always in denial. We just don't want to accept anything. That's a complete society thing that we feel Once we accept it, then people think we are weak. People don't
Yeah.
want to show any weakness.
Yes.
It's perfectly okay to be weak. Everybody's weak, man. Somebody's just more stronger than other people. That's how it is. It's just the way it is. It's always, not everything is ever going to be equal. It's just not going to be equal. Okay?
Yeah.
Only thing we want equal is if you murder somebody, I murder somebody, everybody should go to jail. Okay. That's how it should be. So, shout out to Mulayam Singh Yadav. Somebody put him in jail. So, what do you have, Vikram? Are we good now?
Yeah, I think we are good. We covered a lot of points. It's, I think, our one of the longest podcast, and hope people liked it and got something positive from it. And I think I just wanted to say that if you feel negative, if you are surrounded with negative people, just watch our podcast. We always talk about positive things. Even if we're talking about something which is bad, we talk in a very positive manner, like depression. We are talking right now.
Yeah. Sure, and I'll also link you all the strip club videos that are on YouTube from Bangkok. They're very amazing. They'll always just cheer you up. Completely funny as well. This is like hilarious. So if you liked what you saw, heard, felt, then might as well go and like and subscribe, and we'll keep giving you the more good humor, content, and we'll carry on. You carry on as well.
Content which will make you content.
Content. And figure out what's the difference. One is a noun, one is a verb. People are like, what is a verb? I've never heard of it. Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Take care.
Take
Have
care.
a good evening.